Hey, good morning. It's Tuesday, July 8th here on the Outlaw Radio 1960. I'm Bruce the Outlaw. Karen, the bandit, is busy at work at the hospital. As we all know, that the by-election has been called in the Crowfoot riding, where Pierre Poilievre is going to try and regain his seat in the House of Commons. And I think it's pretty much a decided factor. They're going to load the ballot again with 98 people, and these are the people that are pushing proportional representation. I like the idea of proportional representation. It's a far more just scenario given the vastness of the land that we live on. However, I don't think it's such a smart idea when you're only talking about one riding. The whole 300 and change, yep. But with one riding, where's the proportion? On the first past the post system, he wins. So it's a bit of a waste of time. But as this all unfolds, there seems to be a few misconceptions over how by-elections work and who can run and who cannot. And Poilievre, and a lot of my Liberal friends and New Democrat friends might not like this, and certainly the ones that are trolling the Conservative sites. And of course, as we all know, I'm a lifelong New Democrat. He has every right to do this. This is not the first time that this has happened in Canadian history. For a little New Democrat history, Tommy Douglas lost the seat he was running in Regina. He went to Burnaby. He won the Burnaby seat. He was swept out by Pierre Elliott Trudeau, and then represented Cowichan, Malahat, and the islands for the rest of his federal political career. When Brian Mulroney became the leader of the Conservative Party, Elmer MacKay resigned his seat because Brian Mulroney didn't have a seat either, to allow Brian Mulroney to take his seat in the House of Commons. And Brian was the leader of his party. He did not come from Nova Scotia, but that's where he ran because Elmer MacKay, or I should say Central Nova, had been in the MacKay family from who knows when. And of course would be later represented by Peter. And for those Liberals who still think that this is just the unusual thing, someone had to give up their seat in New Brunswick for Jean Chrétien to run in Beauséjour. So I think you kind of got to get away from the idea that this is an unusual thing. Mackenzie King lost his seat in Prince Albert to a young whippersnapper lawyer called John Diefenbaker. He had to have a by-election called in order to get his seat back. So anyway, they said, well, the Conservatives lost the election. The Conservatives didn't lose that election. It was a dead heat. Yes, they might have lost the seat total, but the percentages are still very close together. And he is effectively the leader of the party until the Conservatives say otherwise. So he has every right to run here. Myself, my daughter, of course, will vote for him. My wife will vote for Poilievre this time. I will vote for our neighbor, who's going to be running as an independent. I'm sorry, Pierre. Even though my dad was a Conservative MLA in Saskatchewan, and I come from a very mixed bag of political people, I can't force myself to do this. The MLA for Sylvan Lake was laughing with me, going, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I'm sure I can find a place with 90 some odd people running on the ballot to drop my vote. He just laughed. That's Devin Dreeshen. And so let's get away from these sort of, it's almost cruel. If you're a leader of a party, you want to, and you lose your seat, I can say, saying yes. Shagmeat had no choice. He not only lost the election, he was obliterated. So of course he had to give up his seat. But 43% of the popular vote is usually enough to form a government in this country with the vote splits. This was a head-to-head, and that's not going to be forever. But as I said when I made my commentary about what this election was all about, I said you had a choice between two conservatives. You had Mark Carney, who identified himself as a progressive conservative, running as basically a Lougheed conservative, and you had Pierre Poilievre running as more of a Klein conservative, and really on the off chance, a bit of the MAGA Trump stuff that nobody really liked. And just for your information, Pierre, you know what really cost you that election? Was the apple eating. You came across as smug, arrogant, and you angered people. People vote on hope. You never give them policy, you never give them hope. You have your safe seat here in Alberta. I'm sure you'll go back to wherever you're going after that in the next campaign. But people need hope, people need jobs, people need security. People need to know that Canada will be defended each and every day of the year. And I'm not too sure that Mark Carney is the guy for the job, because he's been bending down and kissing the Orange Boy's rear a little bit far too much. He's negotiating for us a new trade agreement. I don't think he should be negotiating with him at all. Trump's agenda is set and clear. But here's the thing. To move back into the by-election, stop saying that Poilievre can't run here. It's something that's happened historically throughout the ages, and it's a sure thing. Carrick gave up his seat for him. It's a surefire blowout. So why is everybody worried and why is everybody complaining? And you know why it is? Because they're scared. They don't want to see Poilievre back in the House. They're scared. Anyway, you all have a good day. Take care, and we'll get back to you on Outlaw Radio 1960 either tomorrow or the next day. I'm going to be do some more aerial photography. If you like what you see, please join Karen and I at Bruce and Karen Baker on Facebook, at Outlaw Radio 1960 on both TikTok and YouTube. And don't forget that we do have our radio station full of classic rock hits and country on live365.com. And we hope to see you, and we enjoy having you. And don't forget, when you're by YouTube, to hit the link and buy us both a cup of coffee. We'll talk to you later. Bye now.